Good morning. Good morning. Things are difficult for sure, but that's because we are hearing things differently. For instance, just two simple words. The word stupid. If I heard the word stupid, immediately my brain says that I have lacked great intelligence or common sense in something. While someone else may hear the word stupid and feel like you hate them or you detest them or you don't like anything about them whatsoever. See how just that easy we hear two different things. The same way with attrition. Right now, I believe we are in legislative attrition. How many people, right off the bat, before I give the definition, know what attrition is? Well, it's the act or process of gradually reducing the strength of something or someone over a sustained period of time through attacks and or pressure. When you hear that you've been losing or there is legislative attrition, you're not going to automatically remember that definition that I gave. So things are difficult. So when I speak about legislative authority, what I'm saying is if you're out here arguing about the Constitution, that is against my constitutional rights. How do you fight that? When you hear someone say, hey, that's got to be against your rights, what's the next step to go fight that? There are people out here who have the resources to start that battle happening, but it is not your average citizen. So what do you do to give the average citizen an equal level playing field when it comes to politics? You give them the constitutional right to hold its government officials accountable. But you have to write it in the Constitution. Legislative authority for citizens has to be written in the Constitution. And it has to say that not only is the power invested in the people, like it is, and like it says in the first article of the Constitution of Florida, it's an inherent right to the people that all political power is invested in them. But we need to know how the people use it. And it is not just voting. I've been asking this question when I walk to people on the street all the time. Hey, what have you done since you voted? The answer is nothing. Because once you vote, that's it. That's the limitation of the power that somebody keeps telling you that you have. I want to extend that. When we hear the word attrition, after I give you the definition of gradually removing, not all at one time, gradually, we have political and legislative attrition amongst the citizens. It's been gradually being pulled back. How is it going to have an effect? Well, some people are seeing the adverse effects. Some people are feeling the adverse effects. Everybody's not experiencing the same thing at the same time, but the potential is there. The potential is there, but the potential isn't there for everybody. There is some people that will not feel this in a negative way at all, and you have to decide if that's you. If you're someone who doesn't see it, then you have to have something called empathy. That's the type of governor I am. That's the type of governor I want to be. I have topics that I'm going to educate you on. And I was literally about to break down the district court, the court of appeals, and the Supreme Court, and how it works in our society and how we need to have legislative authority to fix it. But it dawned on me that things are difficult because you don't always have the education to understand how to move. And because you don't have the education to understand how to move, sometimes you don't even want to make the argument. Sometimes it's just better to say, man, you know what? It's not my problem right now. Or it's not at my doorstep, so I don't want to deal with it. Or this isn't really even going to affect me. So there are things that I do have to deal with. Right now, number 7 times the federal government has failed their financial audit. This time to the sum of $842 billion. Doesn't matter how I feel about that. Doesn't matter that my taxpayer money went to an audit that you can't even pass. So you can't give me data that you can't find. So, but we're consistently paying taxes. But the citizen doesn't have the authority to make anything happen. And that's where we have to make those changes. And that's where me saying, hey, I would like to implement legislative authority. I want to be the governor that gives the citizens the authority over its government to be the final form of checks and balances. We know we have a legislative branch, an executive branch, and a judicial branch. None of those answer to you and I as citizens. They're supposed to check and balance each other. But the final say-so has got to start belonging to the people who make up the majority. And I can tell you right now, there are not enough members of the judicial branch, the executive branch, or the legislative branch that make up the majority of Americans in the United States of America. Point blank, period, bottom line. So if that's the case, then we should be humbled that we must do the right thing by our citizens because they control what we do and what we don't do. Now, I couldn't tell you how we've given up the right, but I don't think we ever had it. I mean, if you go back and you honestly look at, if you go through the Bill of Rights and then you walk that through to the Constitution, guys, these things had to be amended because those rights were only given to a select individual group, and it was white, Caucasian, whatever you want to say, land owners. That's it. It wasn't even every male. It wasn't every white male. There were stipulations to who could say what. It wasn't everybody that had to start being given. And in 2024, we are hearing the rhetoric, the information that says that we want to continue attrition and gradually bring that back. We want to take away what we've given because it's not beneficial to fill in the blank, because everybody's going to see that different. Who it's not beneficial to, why it's not beneficial to them. The only thing that I want to do, my sole goal for running for governor of Florida, is to put this state in the hands of its citizens. The vote passed the election. You guys have a great day.